More than just social media posts, coverage of your team with a stylish new look and a great new free app, which you need to download or update to now. Get the story with pictures and video like nowhere else. Download now from the crew you know as the area sports leader at YourSportsEdge.com. Nowhere else.
We are the champions.
New app, new look, the gold standard. YourSportsEdge.com.
We are the champions.
Download now. YourSportsEdge.com.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
The WPKY News Edge is committed to keep you informed. Each weekday, they'll email you the top news and sports story of the day for free. No subscription fee. To sign up, click on the news tab at WPKYOnline.com to sign up today. Sign up and receive these information updates for free to your email inbox. To sign up, click on the news tab at WPKYOnline.com. Here's something you should know.
Who will get the call if you're seriously injured? Emergency Notice is an emergency contact registry that helps law enforcement officials know who you wish to be notified in case of a serious emergency. It helps first responders at the scene of a crash or crisis gain valuable information quickly when every minute counts. You can also opt in to get relevant driver licensing updates like card expiration reminders. For more information, visit transportation.kentucky.gov.
1580 103.3 WPKY. We care about our community.
Your local McDonald's wants you to know that they are ready to serve you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine-in or the drive-thru is always open, and they offer curbside pickup service. To avoid the wait in the drive-thru, you can download the McDonald's app and try curbside pickup. Stop in soon and enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at your local McDonald's. Proud to be a part of this community. McDonald's of Princeton, proud supporters of the Caldwell County Tigers.
Fall is here. Step into the Joshua Tree Boutique in downtown Princeton and see what's new for fall. There's still a selection of summer merchandise as well, and most is on sale. You'll find lots of new fall merchandise and more on the way. Rhonda invites you to shop for beautiful, colorful, classic fashion for ladies of all ages at the Joshua Tree Boutique, 110 East Court Street, historic downtown Princeton. The Joshua Tree Boutique.
Rader Auction Company is owned and operated by Delbert Rader. Delbert has been in the agricultural field for over 40 years and is well known for his knowledge of used equipment. Rader Auction holds 4 consignment auctions a year, and they buy and sell equipment on a daily basis. If you're looking for a piece of equipment, they'll do their best to locate it, and financing is available. Contact Delbert Rader at 270-881-2610 or Amy Ezel at 270-604-2880 for all your used equipment needs. Rader Auction Company, Skyline Drive.
Traveling the Bluegrass with host Alan Watts has another busy week. Alan, where are you traveling this week?
Kentucky Department of Agriculture's Dale Dobson talks about farmer suicide prevention. NCBA's Dr. Julia Herman discusses the BQA biosecurity plan. We travel to Prestonsburg to talk with Jenny Wiley State Park naturalist Trinity Shepard about elk restoration and elk tourism in eastern Kentucky, and find out about Jenny Wiley State Park from business manager Tammy Rourke.
That's Traveling the Bluegrass weekdays around 6 a.m. and after the WPKY Noon News Edge.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYOnline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Good morning, everyone. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Joining us on the show this morning will be Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com. It's postseason time for some of the sports in the Bluegrass State. Golf has already had its regional tournaments, and we'll be talking about that and the state tournament next week. District tournament action coming up for soccer next week. So tournament time is here as we go through the fall sports schedule, and lots of big things coming up that we'll be talking about here on the show. Do want to run through the schedule for Cauwa County tonight just a little bit. The Lady Tiger volleyball team is in action at Hopkinsville. That was originally scheduled as a trip to Christian Fellowship School, but the schedule has been changed. The Lady Tigers will now be going to Hoptown tonight. Both Caldwell County soccer teams will be on the road. The Tigers at Murray, the Lady Tigers at Callaway County tonight. So that's the Caldwell County High School sports scheduled for this evening. Stay with us. We'll continue on the Sideline Report, and Scott Brown will be joining us after this here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Life is filled with moments. Moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Goodman. My wife Shannon and I are the owners of Goodman Funeral Home in Princeton. Whether your needs include planning a funeral, making pre-arrangements for yourself or a loved one, we are here to help. We are proud to offer Princeton, Caldwell, and surrounding counties a quality choice when it comes to funeral services. You'll find our prices to be fair, and we promise to work hard to earn your trust and confidence. Give us a call today at Goodman Funeral Home, 270-365-3838.
At Black Patch Grill, the kitchen is serving your favourite Irish fare and southern comforts. The dining room is now open again, so come in, sit down and enjoy your meal in the dining room or, weather permitting, out on the patio. We are still offering curbside takeout for lunch and dinner, as well as family-style dinner options. Follow us on Facebook at Black Patch Grill to see the daily specials. And come check out our new location in Hopkinsville, the local Irish pub and kitchen.
There are some surefire things you get when you deal with Armory Gun Shop in Princeton. Quality, knowledge, honesty. Take your firearm experience to the next level and see how the new ownership at Armory Gun Shop is making a difference for the local gun owner. Located on North Harrison Street with hours of operation listed on the Armory Gun Shop Facebook page. Their mission is to provide quality products at fair prices with knowledge you can trust.
We continue on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, good morning. Thanks for tuning in today. Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com is on the phone with us this morning. Scott, good morning. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, good morning, Todd. Good to be here.
Absolutely. How many golf pictures have you gone through this week?
I've gone through about as many shots as you take on the golf course, and that's a lot. So it's a lot, but saw some pretty good golf over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for YourSportsEdge.com. Lots of golf information up, and golf is one of those sports. It's a little different. You just never kind of know what's going to happen when you show up at the golf course.
You don't, and I had the Region 2 tournaments, which the girls Madisonville and the boys was at Henderson, and I don't know. I thought they had both of those courses set up a little on the tough side. I know it's the region tournament, and I know golf has gotten a lot better, but at the end of the day, we're still talking high school kids, and I thought at least in Region 2, I don't know how it was set up at Murray and Paducah, but I just thought that over in Region 2, I thought the courses were set up a little tougher than what I've seen. And several of them kind of thought the same way. I mean, we didn't see any scores under par and really, nothing near par. Caitlin Zebo won the girls at, I think, 2 over, and Jackson Hill won the boys at 5 over. And so that's how the courses were playing.
Yeah, in the first region, Rocco Zakutny of Paducah St. Mary won the guys. He shot even par down at the Country Club of Paducah at 72. Catherine Brown of Lyon County won the girls' championship at Murray Country Club on Tuesday with a 1 under 72 there. She was the only player under par all week in the first region at either one. And there was actually some grumbling in Paducah on Monday about how difficult they set that course up. And we only had 4 players shoot in the 70s. So I think that's kind of a testament that, yes, that was a difficult course, and the wind even made for some more difficult conditions on Monday.
Yeah, the girls' Region 2 was Monday at Madisonville, and yes, the wind was kind of an issue there. Mainly the thing on Tuesday at Henderson, that's where the boys' Region 2 was. You kind of would like to see a golf course set up where, 6 holes, that's tough. 6 holes or, could go either way. 6 holes set up to where you can get a shot back. I'm not saying easy, but, not as difficult as the other. I saw that at Madisonville on Monday. There were a couple of holes that were like par 4, 310, 320. The girls were able to get some coverage. I didn't see that at all Tuesday at Henderson. They really lengthened the course. It played long. And it was really hard to get some shots back.
We are talking with Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com this morning. Of course, like I said earlier, regional golf action underway this week. And again, going back to the boys' first region down at Paducah on Monday. And it's a little confusing because the first region had boys Monday and girls Tuesday, and everyone else had it opposite. But there were several people complaining at Paducah. They actually had construction going on cart paths on the front 9 while the tournament was going on, and it absolutely had an impact on play for some kids. Again, the course set up extremely tough, but I think it was done that way deliberately for Paducah St. Mary. It's their home course, and I think they thought that gave them their best chance of winning that tournament, so that's how it was set up. But just from talking to people Monday at Paducah, not a lot of happy people with that situation, and even to the point that on Tuesday at the girls' regional at Murray, the coaches voted not to take the girls' regional to the Country Club of Paducah next year. They're going to vote on a different site. So that was kind of some of the things going on Monday down at Paducah.
Yeah, and you talk about working on the cart pass. That was even a topic of discussion at Henderson on Tuesday amongst some of the parents and coaches there about how working on the cart pass at that particular time. The worst thing we had at Henderson Tuesday was at the Henderson Country Club, there's a house on the 18th hole that they decided to get their roofing redone on that particular house on that day, Tuesday. So you kept hearing the nail gun go into the roof as they were putting the roofing down. And that was as a little unsettling at times. But, yeah, I mean, that was the topic. The cart pass situation was the topic on Tuesday. And we found out that in Region 2, they're just going to flip-flop locations. This year, the girls was at Madisonville and the boys at Henderson. Next year, they flip-flop. The girls will be back at Henderson and the boys will be at Madisonville. So, that was something else we talked about. There's not really a lot of golf courses in Region 2. Of course, Region 2 is Hopkinsville, go north. It's Hopkinsville, Hopkins County, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Webster, Henderson, and Davis County, Owensboro area. So aside from the 2 or 3 courses in Owensboro, and then Madisonville, you got 2 courses in Hopkinsville, Western Hills could host and Country Club could host. I think they want to steer clear of Central City because that is not a good walking course at all. They girls tournament there a couple weeks ago, and they had 6 or 7 girls withdraw turn because it was just a hot day, and it's a bad course to have to walk. There's not really there's not the number of courses in Region 2 that host as in Region 1. You can go on a rotation basis in Region 1 and include Murray Country Club, Drake Creek,
Calvert City
Park, Calvert City. You could throw in several courses. Bayfield used to host it on a regular basis. Princeton hosted it on a regular basis the day. There's a lot more courses in Region 1 that can host a region golf tournament.
Again, we're talking with Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com here on the Sideline Report this morning. Need to get to a timeout. We'll come back and talk more golf and other sports as well as we continue here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, mostly cloudy skies today, a high near 85 degrees. Clouds tonight, overnight low 62. Slight chance of showers, thunderstorms on Friday afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high 85 degrees. Partly sunny skies Saturday, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. Once again, our forecast today, mostly cloudy skies with a high near 85.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Back on the Sideline Report at 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com is with us this morning talking about the regional golf tournaments played earlier this week. Of course, Scott, for Your Sports Edge, it's kind of unique with the golf situation because we've got half of our teams in the first region and half of them over in the second region.
Yeah, that's golf is one of the few sports that doesn't follow the traditional region alignment. Several years ago, almost within the last 10 years, they aligned soccer, they aligned baseball, softball, basketball, on the same type of alignment to kind of gear up with basketball. And cross country and track, of course, they're classed. Golf is not classed, but kind of keeps the different regions, so I don't know. I've always thought that really that even if they move Trigg and Caldwell and Lyon into Region 2, I don't know if that would help them or not. The Paducah schools is going to be pretty good. Paducah and Marshall County are going to be good in Region 1, but to Region 2, you're still going to have to compete with Madisonville and the Owensboro schools. So I don't, if they put golf alignment the same as basketball, as far as regions go, I don't know the schools would be any better off, really.
Well, the All-A Classic actually kind of goes more by the basketball regions, and so it does get a little confusing. Like if you're Caldwell or Trigg, well, I guess Trigg is in the second region. No, they're in the first region in golf and second region in All-A. So, like I said, it can get confusing sometimes trying to figure out who's in which region. And, sometimes when we're trying to cover, figure out who we need to go cover and when we need to be there.
Right. And, yes, All-A does kind of stay along the basketball regions. But I don't know. It's just kind of odd. Wrestling is another one. Of course, there's not as many schools that wrestle that play golf, so they don't have as many regions. They've only got 8 regions. Golf, at one time it was all of Western Kentucky in one region, and you only had 8 golf regions, and they have expanded that as well. But I made the comment and wrote the story about it, I think, earlier this year, especially talking with Emma Talley. We did an interview with her about how the quality of golf in Western Kentucky has really improved in the last 10 years. The last year Emma Talley won the state golf tournament, there were only 3 golfers from Western Kentucky, and I consider Western Kentucky to be everything west of Bowling Green. I don't consider Bowling Green to be in Western Kentucky. I know the college is there that says Western Kentucky, but that's South Central Kentucky. Western Kentucky is everything west of Bowling Green. And the last year that Emma Talley won the state championship in high school with Caldwell County, there were only 3 girls in the top 75 from a Western Kentucky school. And last year, Western Kentucky school won. Another Western Kentucky school as a team finished in the top 6. You had from Owensboro, Macy win it. You had another girl from Western Kentucky, Trinity Beth, who was in the top 10. Catherine Brown from Lexington, who was in the top 10. I think there were 6 golfers in the top 25 from Western Kentucky state tournament last year.
Yeah, how long has the state tournament been in Bowling Green now?
I'm sorry?
How long has the state tournament been in Bowling Green now? It seems like that's sort of a big advantage for Western Kentucky golfers now to get to play it at Bowling Green Country Club, because obviously they're going to see that course a little bit more.
Yeah, that was part of Bowling Green's big push to get a lot of the state tournaments there I think 15 years ago. At one time they had the girls' Sweet 16, they had state football playoffs, championships, they had golf. They were able to get one other sport there as well. And then, of course, football is back in Lexington, and Sweet 16 has went to Northern Kentucky for some reason, but it landed at Rupp. But I agree with that. I think, I know several golfers that make it a point to play as many times in any tournament that's held at the Bowling Green Country Club. They're there trying to play in it. So I think that's a fair assessment. But at the same time, you have to get to the state tournament, in order to play the course.
Well, going back to Tuesday's girls regional down at Murray Country Club in the first region, I think there were a lot of happy people there to see Catherine Brown capture that title. I know a lot of the girls came up to her and congratulated her afterward, and it was kind of the feel-good story of the tournament to see her win that and now go into state with a lot of momentum, and she said a lot of confidence.
I think so, and I really think the confidence part has been the area that Catherine has lacked, and it's you wouldn't think so, but that's kind of been the case. And I really think her top 10 finish at state last year served as the springboard for her success this year. I think that proved to her, hey, I could play here and I can do well at the state level. She was fortunate she got to play in the same group with, Macy Brown, who was a good friend of hers. And I think that playing with Macy helped Catherine just as much as playing with Catherine helped Macy win the state championship last year. Now, they're not going to be paired together this year on the first day. We don't know what the second day looks like yet. But normally they pair region champions fairly close. So Macy Brown did not win the region in Region 2. She finished in a tie for 6th place, but she'll be going back to the chance to defend her crown. Catherine, top 10 finish at state. She played at some AJGA events, won a qualifying tournament that got her into her first AJGA event. She had a 10 at another national tournament. And yeah, I think Summer, she really realized, hey, I can play with just about anybody. And I think that is really, we're seeing it on the course right now. I think we're seeing a little bit of maturity as well, and her ability to bounce back after a bad shot or bounce back after a bad hole. And that's the key to golf. Any golfer will tell you that. It's not hitting a bad shot. It's how you do after you hit the bad shot, or you know, you have a hole. If you have a double bogey, what are you going to do on the next hole? And you know, it's like playing baseball mid-air. That ball's going to again quick. What are you going to do next time it's hit to you? And I think the ability to get the bad holes out of her system. You know, she won a tournament. I forget which one, but she won a high school event here not long ago, and she bogeys. She was pars and birdies all round.
Yeah, the first regional championship for Catherine. Of course, her brother Cullen, I believe, had 3 of those, and we all know the Cullen Brown story, but it kind of brings up an interesting situation where you have siblings as region champions, and that's not a situation that comes up a whole lot either.
No, it really isn't. I know brothers. I think talking with Ed Marlowe, I think he said that the Zakutney brothers, Rocco had an older brother, I think, that won a region. You know, as far as, you know, 2 brothers winning. I don't know about a brother-sister. Trigg County's had a mother and a son win. Jamie Toller-Schote won back-to-back region titles in the late 80s and early 90s, and her son Nick Schote won the region title. He went on to play at Murray State. But, you don't normally see a situation where siblings win a region title in anything, let alone golf.
Well, one thing I'd like to throw out there for the regional tournaments is we need to get some kind of live online scoring going on, because there has to be a better way to check on scores than me walking up and asking people how everybody's doing.
Well, you know, there are some regions that do that, and it's just a matter of having the capabilities of doing it. You know, the Bluegrass Golf Tour, they did that for Region 3, which is the Bowling Green schools, and they also did it for Region 11, which is the Lexington schools. At the All-A State Tournament, the live scoring was done on Golf Genius, which is an app, and the players, every 3 holes, they report their score. One thing that surprises me, they have live scoring at the state tournament, but they don't do it every hole, I don't think. I think them, it's every 3 holes. When you get to the state, you need to get people out on the course, and after every hole, you go up to that person and say, I had a 5, I had a 4, I had a 3. And that way you don't run into these scorecard issues at the end, because you reported your score after every hole. There's still a gentleman or ladies agreement when it comes to scorecards, but hey, we've seen an issue with that. You know, Emma Talley got qualified at the state tournament for signing a wrong scorecard. It wasn't the fact that she kept the wrong score. I mean, I watched Caitlin Shelton from Hopkinsville at the region tournament get disqualified 4 years ago. It's not because she kept an incorrect scorecard, but when she came in and reported score at the table and said, you know, I had a 3-4-3, the person writing the score down wrote the number down, and she signed that card. Her card that she had in her hand was correct. The card she signed, she gave the score to the tournament official who wrote the wrong score down, got her disqualified. And that was her senior year. And she would have qualified for state and did not. So, the 2 things, you know, the 2 things that still bewilder me to this day is at a state tournament, a person is able to keep their own score, and when you go to a volleyball match, any parent can come down in the stands and officiate the lines.
Well, and in that situation, you would have thought that would have been a correctable error, because it wasn't an error by a golfer, it was an error by a golf official.
And it didn't help her. It did not give her a better score. It gave her a worse score, but because it wasn't the score she had on her scorecard, she got the off by. I think it was the same way with Valley, if I remember the story right. The score she signed for would not have helped her. It would have made her score higher, and
she still would have won. Yeah,
was on her score. Yeah, she still would have won.
Talking this morning with Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com, and changing gears a little bit. We've talked about the regional golf tournaments, and of course state golf coming up next week in Bowling Green. Scott, soccer districts get underway next week, and it feels like the postseason's kind of gotten here quick this year for some reason.
It has, and everything seems different this year because of what we had to go through last year with COVID. The only exception is golf, because golf went through the season no problem last year, and so they kept their schedule throughout. And so last year, all the fall sports got off to a late start and didn't start until after Labor Day, and it's hard to believe, but it's also hard to believe tomorrow's October 1st.
Yes.
And we flip the calendar into a new month. And so when you flip that calendar into October, that's when you're going to have golf, you're going to have district and region soccer and district and region volleyball right around the corner. And by the time you get probably to the 3 weeks into the month, you've had 3 sports fall off of your calendar to cover.
Well, and the good thing for us this year is that there's a little time between the soccer districts and the volleyball districts. Seems like last year we were covering those things the same week.
Yes, and that's a good plan. I like how that is. In fact, district and region soccer will be completed before district ball begins, and I think that's a break for the schools as well, because you go on that rotating basis now, where, like in the 5th district, I'll use it as an example. If Lyon County hosts the basketball tournaments, they're going to host soccer and baseball and softball. And then the next year it'll be Trigg County's turn to host soccer and volleyball and baseball and softball. And that's how, that's how the rotation goes. And so it's a case of, if you're hosting soccer, boys and girls, guess what? You're going to host volleyball too. And so to host it in the same week or in back-to-back weeks. So, because you got more schools that are going to that alpha rotation to host your postseason events.
For Caldwell County, Madisonville North Hopkins will host the 7th District soccer tournaments. Both Caldwell County teams will play Monday night over there against Hopkins County Central in the lone semifinal round action. Madisonville North Hopkins teams have drawn a bye into the championship game of the 7th District tournaments. And, Scott, as you kind of look at the region as a whole for soccer, both girls and boys seem to come down to 2 schools, Madisonville and Henderson.
Right. I watched Madisonville's girls defeat University Heights the other night. They're a solid girls team, and when you talk Madisonville soccer, the talk is about Cameron LaGrange. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm impressed with Lily Carmen and her ability to kind of facilitate that offense. And then of course Kennedy Justice had 4 goals for Madisonville, so they're going to be a good team. UHA is a good team, but they lost their leading scorer for the season, Audrey Grice, to injury. And without her, their offense is a little limited. And Madisonville kind of exploited that on Tuesday night. And, of course, Henderson's Henderson when it comes to girls. They've won the region title, I think, 6 years in a row now, except for last year. I take that back. Madisonville won the region last year to end their streak, so they've won 5 of the last 6 years. But I agree. It may come down to those 2, but those 2 may also draw into the same semifinal bracket. If that happens, that's going to make for an interesting draw opposite them with like Lyon County, a UHA, or a Hopkinsville that can all kind of make some noise amongst each other and get that championship game. Henderson and Madisonville drawn to the same bracket.
Yeah, Cauwa County could be a dark horse over on the guys' side. They've actually been very competitive in matches with Henderson County and Madisonville North Hopkins this season. They dropped both of those, but they were able to play with them a little bit. And the one thing with Caldwell, they've been so beat up all year between sickness and injuries. The Tigers are just now kind of getting everyone together. So if you're looking for a dark horse to maybe try to slip in on that other side, I kind of like Caldwell on the guys' side.
Yeah, so I'll tell you another that I don't know that they could win, and they may not even get out of their own district, but they're a team that I don't necessarily want to see, and that's the team that Cauwa County beat the other, Fort Campbell. Fort Campbell's playing some really good soccer right now. They seem to have all of the personnel in place. And Hopkinsville is another team that's playing well of late, and they have their personnel in place. They've had some people this year. I think with both of them in Caldwell, those are teams to be leery of.
Well, and looking ahead to volleyball, again, you've kind of got the same cast of characters that you usually have in volleyball. Henderson County is up there. Caldwell County is the defending region champion, and the Lady Tigers are in the mix as well. And I think there's probably 4, 5, 6 volleyball schools that think they could make a run at least to the championship match this year in the second region tournament.
I think this year the volleyball draw is going to be very important when it comes time for region. Last year Henderson had to go in as a runner-up because of COVID issues and turn around and had to play Caldwell County in the first round of the region.
Yeah, and at Caldwell.
At Caldwell, and that really kind of shook the region up last year as far as that went. And so I don't think there'll be anything as groundbreaking as that this year, but there's not the clear-cut region favorite this year. I think Henderson may be a little head and shoulders above the rest, but, anything can happen. It's my understanding that they're going to go to the district champion home court format again this year, where if you win your district tournament, you host a first-round game, and then the semifinals and finals will be at Crittenden County this year.
Yeah, we're going to go back that way. Of course, last year, interesting, because of COVID, Caldwell got to host a first-round game in the regional tournament, and then again, the state tournament was set up a little differently, so Caldwell actually got to host a state tournament game last year because of the situation.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be the case this year. The Board of Control, HSAA, met last week, and it looked like that are going to, state formats the same. The only difference is cross country. The Kentucky Horse Park has long been the home for the state cross country meets for all 3 classes. It's a facility big enough that they've actually had 3 different courses run there. Originally, the course was run near the Steeplechase course. It was a beautiful course. A few years after that, they moved it to the campground area, which was not a good place to run it as far as a fan. You didn't get they ran off the hill, and you didn't see them again, and ran back over the hill to finish, coming back at you. So, good course now, but Horse Park is owned by the state. And so with COVID-19 restrictions in place at some state properties, go back and run in the middle of a field in Paris. That's where they ran it last year, and it literally is in the middle of a field. They call it the Bourbon County Cross Country Course. It's in the middle of a field. And so that was a lot, that was a little different. Now, I will say this, Todd, and looking at what the KSAA put out in regards to volleyball, it says that volleyball will play its quarterfinals through the finals at George Rogers Park in Winchester. So that leads me to believe that we're going to see first-round state tournament games on campus like last year.
We are talking with Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com this morning. Need to get to a break here on the show, but we'll come back with more right after this here at 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Hancock's Neighborhood Market.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, mostly cloudy skies today with a high near 85 degrees. Clouds tonight, overnight lows 62. Slight chance of showers, thunderstorms on Friday afternoon. Mostly sunny during the day with a high 85. A continuing slight chance on Friday night. Saturday, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Saturday's high near 80 degrees. Let's get our forecast today. Mostly cloudy skies with a high near 85.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Get the care that you need to stay mentally and physically well from the convenience of your home. Health First Community Health Center is doing their part to help stop the spread. They're now offering telehealth services to keep you healthy at home. Scheduling a virtual visit with your medical or behavioral health provider is easy. All you need is a smartphone, tablet, or computer and internet access. Contact their office for an appointment at 877-667-7017. That's 877-667-7017. At Health First, your health is their first concern.
Back on the Sideline Report at 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com and WKDZ Radio is on the phone with us this morning, and we know we've had a little phone issues here and there, but Scott, we're going to muddle on through here and finish up our show today.
All right, sounds good.
Well, and I did want to thank you for letting me be Scott Brown on the WKDZ football broadcast of Trigg County and Fulton County last week. A big win for the Wildcats on Friday, and I had fun hanging out with Kyle and Jameis over at Trigg County.
Yeah, they're a fun crew to work with, and, some schedule changes forced me to miss that one. I don't regret it a bit. The weather was nice in Florida. Green flags and 8 degrees on the beach every day, and enjoyed that. That's took a risk by scheduling a week stay in Florida during hurricane season. I've never kept an eye on hurricane tracking forecast as much in the last month I have this year, and fortunate that no hurricanes. They all moved off to the north, and just fantastic weather. But it was a good win for Trigg County, and they are playing some pretty good football. And they've got a stiff test coming up this week with Paducah Tillman, school they've never beaten. But the game's in Cadiz, and the closest the Trigg's ever come to beating Tillman every time it's happened on the home field. So I'm kind of curious to see how the Wildcats respond this week.
Well, unfortunately for you, though, you had a long string going there, and that was ended with the trip last week.
Yeah, the last Trigg football game I missed was in 1996. I was in my cousin's wedding in Texas, and so Tom Rogers was calling the games on the radio, and I helped him. And so I was in Dallas, near Dallas, actually Greenville, Texas, in my cousin's wedding. And it turned out we got done with the rehearsal dinner the same night Trigg was at Murray playing. And who rolled up in a bus but the Oak Ridge boys? And me and my brother got to talk to the Oak Ridge boys for about 30 minutes, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
And they were super nice. I mean, they had just performed at Texas A&M Commerce, which is near Greenville, and I told them I'd worked at a radio station, and they were fairly familiar with where Cadiz and Hopkinsville was, having gone down I-24 many times. But that night Tom had to call a game in Murray, and it started raining Wednesday and it ended raining Sunday night. and it rained all throughout the game. Trigg won the game 6-0. There were 33 fumbles in the game.
Oh, wow.
And the winning score, Kelvin Cowbell Groves hydroplaned 6 yards for the winning score. It was the only score of the game. And I thought, if that's the last game I miss, then, that's a good one to miss. But it had been a while. I hadn't missed a Trigg County home game since 1989. And the only reason I missed that game because I was back at the studio running the radio broadcast. That was when Trigg County Paris in the state semifinals to go to the Class 1A championship. I don't feel bad. I mean, it may have bothered me, 5-10 years ago. Like I sat at home and ate Cheetos and watched movies on Netflix on a Friday night. I was in Florida on the beach and just enjoyed some, nice seafood and gator tail. It was a break I needed, and the only way it came about was because I scheduled the trip during bye week, and then when LaRue County backed out and claimed they couldn't play because of COVID, then Trigg decided to take week as their bye week and then fill their original bye week with somebody else, and so they did some schedule shuffling, and that I got caught in the crossfire of that one. It's what it is, and I'm just glad the Wildcats were able to win.
Well, we talked a little bit on the broadcast about streaks, and mine for Caldwell County right now is at 397 straight games, and the most amazing thing about that is it's not the longest Caldwell County streak right now that's still active.
Yeah, who's the couple that's been to more than you?
Philip and Pam Phelps have been to 406 straight games, if my math is correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. That there's a lot of luck involved, but there's also a lot of loyalty. Because I'm, part of my streak. I've been on the good end of a 66-6 and 62-0 win, and I've been on the bad end of 62-0 losses, and it's been rough sometimes, and for you and the Phelps to have a streak that long, that's phenomenal.
Well, and Gary Goodacre's got a pretty lengthy one going, too. Gary's the stat guy for us, and he's at 283 straight games. And I'm sure that when I talked Gary into doing stats about 25 years ago, he had no idea he'd end up going to 300 straight games, but he's making a run at it.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, too. As far as the media goes, the only other long streak, I know Jeff Sisk at WHOP, he's called a lot of Hopkinsville games in a row. In fact, he may go back to the late 80s, early 90s with his streak. And of course, Donnie Caver, the statistician at Fort Campbell, he goes back to the Marshall Patterson days. That's how far back Donnie goes. He played for Marshall. So he counts his games that he was a member of the Falcon football team, and then immediately started keeping stats once he got out of high school. And when we did Fort Campbell games on WHBO, he was part of that broadcast. But he goes back to the early 80s as far as not Fort Campbell football games. So there's a lot of streaks, and I think it's impressive. I hate that mine ended. Mine was 273, but it's things happen, life happens, and you just move on. And I'll look forward to starting number one Friday night against Paducah Tillman. But yeah, with you and Phelps and Gary, that's just impressive. And I know probably go to just every program that has a good tradition and find people like that hadn't missed a game in a long time or whatever.
Yeah, the first game of my streak was actually the last game of the 1986 season, and the first game of the Phelps' streak was the first game of the 86 season. So that's how far back that goes, and Gary's goes back to 97, I think, 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there. So So yeah, it's been a while, but it's kind of one of those things. I never really started out to put a streak together. It just, I kind of started working the games, and I looked around one day, and I had been to a whole lot in a row.
Right, and that's how it adds up. And the interesting thing is that I talked about not missing a home game. Well, in 1995, I became employed with the Katy Police Department, and I had to spend my summer in Richmond at the Police Academy. And when I got out at the beginning of August, I had to work Friday nights. And so I was at the football game in uniform. I wasn't covering it for media, but I was at the home football games. And so for 1995, that's how I was able to continue that part of the streak. And then I got back on the radio in 96, and again, had to miss that one. I had a couple of close calls. Trigg County went to Fort Campbell right after 9/11. They were very strict about admittance onto the post that night, and all of the media had to have a media escort, someone who would pick them up and literally drive them to Fire Stadium for the game. And for whatever reason, my media escort didn't show up. So I'm sitting at the gate with the MPs waiting for my media escort to come. And, of course, everybody who's coming through the gate seems to think I've done something wrong because I'm there with the MPs. And so finally my media escort got there, and I got to the game midway through the second quarter. Was able to finish the game out. I got lost going to Pittsburgh County one year, and we arrived right at kickoff. We literally got on the air at kickoff, went to the wrong Muhlenberg school for a football game. And I think one other year I go to the hospital like lunch and was able to come to Nashville here and call the game. And I want to say it was a game of Cauwa County. So there's some close calls, but once Trigg decided to reschedule for the bye week, I go, and it's like, well, the streak is going to have to end. I'm not gonna do any reshuffling here.
Well, I missed kickoff at Webster County one night because on the trip over, someone ahead of us had hit a deer, and they had a detour set up, and it really took us through a lot of back roads in Webster County, and by the time we got there, Gary actually saw kickoff that night because he jumped out of the car and ran in the stadium, but by the time the rest of us parked and got in, they were already running the first play of the game. So I did miss kickoff one night, and I left a blowout at halftime one night. We were doing a big homecoming page the next day in the newspaper, so I think it was 63-0. I think we were playing Reedland that night, so I slipped out at halftime and went back and got a head start, on the homecoming page. But I knew Gary was there to have all the stats and have all the information, so it all worked out great. So those are the near misses that I've kind of had.
Yeah, the Fort Campbell one really concerned me. And again, it was such a tense atmosphere as it was, with 9/11 happening on a Tuesday, and then you're playing at Fort Campbell on a Friday. In fact, the fans from Trigg County that went, as I'm making my way over to the Trigg County field, I'm walking in the end zone, while play's going on. As I'm going over to the Trigg County side, I got a round of applause. I got, from the fans, because I was finally able to advance past the gate and get to the football stadium. Because again, they all drove past and saw me sitting there at the MPs, and a couple of them, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for my, escort." But he went to the wrong gate. I wasn't there. Figured I wasn't going to be there, so he turned around and went back to the game. Finally, MP had to leave the gate, go to the stadium, find him, and bring him back.
Oh, wow.
I think they were getting tired of my jokes after a while, and so they're like, "Hey, we got to get this guy out of here." And so they were able to get me safely deployed at Friar Stadium. But that was pretty intense. That whole week and whole game. Trigg had to play Fort Campbell soccer the previous night on a Thursday, and they had armed vehicles around Mahaffey's soccer field, Mahaffey Middle School. and constant helicopters going over. In fact, I don't know that fans were out at that one. I know I didn't cover that one. And I think it's just the team. The team went there and played, got back on the bus and went back home. But I don't know if there were any fans allowed at that game.
Oh, wow. Well, Scott, I appreciate you coming on the show this morning. Again, thanks for letting me do the sideline over at Trigg County the other night. I don't know if you get to listen. Kyle, Jameis, and I did talk a little St. Louis Cardinals baseball while you were gone.
Well, and that's what happens. Of course, they've won, 37, 38 in a row now. They should be a lock to do well in the postseason this year. But, it's about the only way you're going to get the Cardinal broadcast on. I'll have to be out of the room for that. But I'm glad you had a good time and enjoyed it. And back to some normalcy this week. And, especially after, Caldwell County dumped last week. So the Tigers are ready to get back on the field and get into some discipline play and do well.
Yeah, big game with Mayfield here Friday night. That's always going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and that's such a good rivalry going back through the years between Caldwell County and Mayfield. Triggs beaten Mayfield one time, I think, in 25 games. And, it is a rivalry. And somebody said, well, how can it be a rivalry if one team wins all the time? And I said, because just the way the game's played. It's an intense ball game. It's usually a well-played ball game. It comes down to one or two plays. It's not like Mayfield wins every game by 40 points. Some years they're losing and come back and win and whatever. And, I know Caldwell's had a little more success against Mayfield than Trigg, but, you can have a rivalry even though it's a one-sided rivalry.
Good luck with you guys over against Paducah Tillman this week, and I'll be out at Mayfield, and we'll all be back on our respective sidelines this week.
Sounds good. Like I said, get that streak started at 1 this week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Todd.
That is Scott Brown of YourSportsEdge.com and WKDZ Radio. Again, Trigg County hosting Paducah Tillman in a big football game over at Cadiz this week. Tigers of Caldwell County hosting Mayfield out here at Tiger Stadium Friday night, and you can hear that game right here on WPKY. That's going to wrap us up on the Sideline Report for this Thursday morning. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Thanks for listening to the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton.
Imagine a person at work, from home, again. Are they wearing cling pants?